This video is a guide to becoming a better hockey defenseman. This video is good for new defensemen who are just trying to learn how to play defense, as well as experienced defensemen who want to learn some new tips. The contents of this video will include skating drills, stick checks, body play in a non-contact league, and analysis of games and practices. The first section of this video will show skating drills. These skating drills are organized into 5 categories. The first being mirror, second is lateral movement, then gap control, pivoting, and finally steering. Mirror drill. The mirror drill is a very important drill because it helps players practice mimicking the movements of an opposing player. In this example of the mirror drill, the black player is leading, and the green player is attempting to mimic the black player's movements. Lateral movement. Lateral movement is side-to-side movement. This ability is very important for defensemen to have, because opposing teams will often make defensemen move side to side in order to force them out of position. Red line crossovers are done by doing crossovers over the red line. This drill is good for practicing general lateral movement. Practicing crossovers going backward and laterally is very important because it closely mimics the motion a defenseman must do in order to stop a rushing forward. The 4-way dot drill is useful for practicing the transition between lateral movement and forward and back motion. The Russian stroke incorporates lateral movement in forward skating. This is usually used by a forward attempting to make a defenseman move laterally. Gap control. A defenseman with good gap control means that they can control the distance between themselves and an opposing player. The zigzag drill practices the back and forth motion a defenseman uses in the offensive zone to prepare for an oncoming rush. A crossover backward quickstart is used when a defenseman must quickly accelerate backwards. A C-cut backward start is used when a defenseman wants to accelerate backwards. This start is slower than the crossover start. However, a C-cut start will let the defenseman remain square to the opposing player. A defenseman executes a poke check backup when attacking an opposing player with the puck, without sacrificing defensive positioning. Backing up can be done in 2 ways, using crossovers or C-cuts. In this example of a poke check backup, the defenseman fails the poke check. However, he still retains good defensive positioning. Pivoting is the transition between forward skating to backward skating, or backward skating to forward skating. Having a fast pivot means a defenseman is less likely to be beat on one side. In this example of pivoting, the green player is skating backwards first and then pivoting later on. In this example of pivoting, the defenseman pivots first and then skates forward. Steering is the action of moving in a certain way in order to influence the actions of your opponent. In this example, the green player is trying to steer the black player closer to the boards. Here we have the green player demonstrating the skating path of steering. Notice how his stick is placed so he is blocking passing lanes. Stick checks are remarkably useful and can be applied in an enormous number of situations. It can neutralize an opponent, create offensive opportunities, and affect even the biggest players. A lift check is done by lifting an opponent's stick and quickly taking the puck. A press check is done by pressing down on an opponent's stick, making them unable to move the puck. Defensemen execute a poke check by thrusting their stick outwards towards the puck. Defensemen execute a sweep check by sweeping their stick at the puck to knock it away. Defensemen execute a tap check by tapping their opponent's stick to knock the puck away. When done along the boards, the puck can bounce off the boards and the defenseman can pick it up. A defenseman executes a hook check by sliding their stick under their opponents and taking the puck away. A pry check is used when an opponent is hitting the puck along the board. Defensemen execute a pry check by placing their stick between the boards and their opponent and using their stick as a lever to push their opponent away. Defensemen can easily move players away from the net by placing their stick under the opposing player's butt and then lifting. Defensemen can off-balance players by placing their stick on top of an opponent's hips or pants and then pushing down. A defenseman can keep track of an opposing player's whereabouts by executing a field check. Defensemen execute a field check by constantly tapping the opponent on the shins to know their location. The body play in this video is to teach defensemen how to play in a no-hitting league. That means there's still body contact, but there's no hitting. This video is meant to teach defensemen who play in a non-hitting league, so this video will not feature instructions on how to hit or body check. The Protect Stationary Puck drill is used to help defensemen practice protecting the puck from an opposing player. A defenseman can protect the puck by using his own body to shield the puck from an opposing player. A defenseman executes a roll check by placing their shoulder to their opponent's opposite shoulder, so right shoulder to left shoulder, or left shoulder to right shoulder. Afterwards, the defenseman continues to skate forward and push their opponent's shoulder so they rotate away from the defenseman. Analysis of games and practices. I will analyze the games and practices by showing real-time footage first, and then showing a slowed down version of that footage, and then breaking down what I did well and what I can improve on. The first few clips will be of my hockey practice. I am the black jersey player inside the red circle. So in this clip here, I didn't do too bad. I go down to curl and gain some speed, so I start curling right around here. I could have passed it a lot better, I just kind of tapped it there. My backwards acceleration is pretty good, matching speed. I slowly start to close the gap to try and check him, except I missed my check, and then he gets around me. So I could improve on my passing there, and also my closing in and checking. So in this clip here, I go down to gain some speed, and I pivot earlier this time, and now I'm ready to receive a pass. And right about here, I just tap the puck, so I still have to work on my passing, and now I have a really big gap. This gap is really big, so I have to try and shorten it again to about 2 stick lengths. So I shorten it right around here, and it's just about 2 stick lengths, so that's pretty good. And then he makes a move but loses the puck, so I didn't check him, but he didn't exactly get around me either, so it was okay. I should improve on passing and gap control. So in this clip here, the pass came really early, so like right there, and I didn't have time to curl and gain speed. So that's why I had to make a big gap so I can gain a little bit of speed, and then I close it again. And then I did a good job keeping him away from the middle of the ice, so he didn't get around me. He's kind of going to the net. He stops, and then this is when I kind of let up on him a bit, so he ends up getting around me. The goalie makes a good save though, so yeah. What I should work on for this is using my body to prevent him from getting close to the net. I start this drill off by pivoting, and then the pass was behind me, so it's kind of awkward, and now I'm not moving, so I do a crossover to gain some speed, and then he picks up the puck, and then I do 2 more crossovers to gain speed, and now I'm okay speed-wise. He starts to do a little bit of fancy moves with the puck, so I don't want to stand him up just yet, but then I do 2 sweep checks, and then I take the puck off his stick. Overall, I played this drill pretty well, and the only thing I could really improve on was probably closing the gap a bit sooner, but I didn't because he was doing fancy moves with the puck, sort of. It was concerning me at the time, so I didn't want to stand him up just yet. this drill, I start to skate up to gain some speed, and then he passes it to me. I receive the pass and pass it back. That was a pretty good pass. And then I pivot to go backwards, and I should start closing the gap right about now. And then he almost gets around me, but then I pivot, and then I try and do like a sweep poke check thing, and then it sort of works. And then I just get my stick on the puck to kind of mess him up a little bit, and then yeah, well, that's it. For this drill, I could improve on my positioning. I was a bit too far to the inside, and he almost beat me on the outside. I should also work on protecting the front of the net because he almost got around me. So for this clip, I pass it pretty well, so I did that pretty good. And then I pivot, start to skate backwards, and then I cross over and stay backwards, and then he gets around me right around there. So I got beat pretty bad on this rep. So what I could improve on is definitely my timing for my pivoting to forward, because right after that crossover, I should have turned to go to forward, but I stayed going backwards, and that's what caused him to beat me. So in this clip, I don't think I ever skated backwards because the pass was really slow and the opponent was coming in really fast on me, so I didn't have time to pivot, so I kind of delayed in front of him to try and get in his way without taking what would be a penalty. So this way does work. I don't recommend it because only do this if you have to. I could work on a fast pivot, and if I had a fast pivot, I could probably pivot to backwards and play this situation backwards instead of doing what I did. So at this point in the practice, we have moved on to 2-on-1s, 2 forwards on 1 defense, and I just wanted to update you guys on that so you guys don't get confused on what's going on. So this is the first 2-on-1, and there's probably only going to be 3 or 4 of these clips. So I start off by receiving a pass, and then I really should have passed with 2 hands. I don't know what I was thinking there, so I should work on my passing again. And then one of the opponents comes in with quite a bit of speed, and then I can match his speed pretty well, and then I slow down, and I try and block a passing lane, but I just miss it. And then I do end up stopping that puck from getting to the front of the net. You can see it with me right there. So I did okay. I would say the 2 things I have to work on are passing and blocking the passing lanes. So in this clip here, the forward passed it really bad, so they just got a new puck. And then I pivot and skate backwards, they pass it back and forth to each other, and then I start to get ready to block the passing lane, which I do, but then the other guy slips behind me and now a passing lane's open. And then I should have improved blocking the passing lanes and keeping track of the other players. Game analysis. The game analysis section will be the last section of this video. The game analysis section will feature footage of me playing defense. This section will basically analyze what I did well and what I could improve on. Most of the footage will be real time without too much commentary, but important parts I will slow down and give a more detailed description. So I'm on the black team and I'm playing right defense, and I'll be circled in red in just a moment. Yeah, right there. Okay, so that was me, just so you guys know. So I'll only be slowing down things when I'm involved in the play. So this is one of those moments the puck kind of comes loose, and then I hustle over, and then I see Liam, who's my partner, and I pass him, except he turned just as I passed, so the pass never got to him. And then that's pretty much all I do for the next few seconds. Okay, so right around here, the opposing team dumps it in, and then I go get the puck, and then this is a easy breakout where I just pass it up to the forward, and then the forward will clear it. Usually the forward should try and pass to another teammate, except he didn't have any options, so that's why he cleared it. Coming up in a few seconds is a pretty good example of a poke check backup. The opposing team is firing a pass up the middle right about now, and I do sort of a poke check, but I'm still backing up, so I still maintain good defensive positioning. So this is the last clip of game analysis, and also the last clip in general before our conclusion. Basically what happens in this clip is the other team dumps in the puck right about now. Yeah, right now. And then this makes our breakout really easy, because all I have to do is skate to the corner and ring it around to my partner, and now my partner has all this time and space to make a pass to one of our teammates. So this basically concludes the end of my video, and I really hope this helped you guys. I really hope that these skills can be applied in your games and help you improve you and your team. I will say another great way to help yourself improve is to get like your parents or someone you know to film you play, and that way you can see what you're doing well and what you have to fix. And I'm sure anyone who follows this guide will be a really appreciated and valuable member of their team.